In this video, you'll learn how to change the resolution of an existing composition in Adobe After Effects quickly and safely without breaking your project. By the end, you'll know exactly where to click, what each setting does, and a few things to watch out for so your animation still looks the way you expect. First, make sure you've selected the composition you want to resize. This step is important because if the wrong comp is active, you'll end up changing the settings for something else in your project. You can select your composition in one of two places. Either click it in the timeline panel where you see all your layers and keyframes, or click it in the project panel where all your assets and compositions are listed. When it's selected, its name will be highlighted and its contents should be visible in both the timeline and the composition viewer. Once your composition is selected, it's time to open the composition settings. Go up to the top menu bar and click on Composition, then choose Composition Settings from the drop-down menu. This will open a window with all the key options for that comp. If you prefer using keyboard shortcuts, you can press Ctrl+K on Windows or Command+K on a Mac. Both the menu path and the shortcut do exactly the same thing, so use whichever feels more comfortable or faster for you. When the composition settings window opens, you'll see several fields and tabs, but for changing the resolution, you mainly need to focus on the width and height values. These numbers represent the pixel dimensions of your composition. For example, a standard full HD composition is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. To change the resolution, simply click in the width box and type your new value, then click in the height box and enter the corresponding value. You might also see a small chain link icon between width and height. If that link is enabled, After Effects will keep the same aspect ratio when you adjust one value, automatically changing the other. If you need a custom size that doesn't match the original proportions, you can turn that link off and type in both width and height manually. Just remember that changing the aspect ratio can affect how your content appears, especially if you've designed graphics to fit tightly within the original frame. As you set your new width and height, it's a good idea to think about where your final video will be used. For example, social media platforms often use vertical or square formats, while most traditional video is horizontal. Matching your composition resolution to your final output will help avoid black bars or unexpected cropping later on. After you've entered the new resolution values, take a quick moment to glance over the other settings like frame rate and duration, just to make sure you haven't accidentally changed anything else. You don't need to modify these for a simple resolution change, but it's helpful to confirm they still look correct. When you're happy with your new width and height, click the OK button at the bottom of the composition settings window. As soon as you do this, After Effects will update the composition to the new resolution. You'll see the change immediately in the composition viewer, and your layers will now sit inside this new frame size. At this point, it's worth scrubbing through your timeline to make sure everything still looks right. Because you've changed the size of the composition, some elements might need to be repositioned or scaled slightly to fit the new frame perfectly, and that's all you need to do. You've selected your composition, opened the settings, adjusted the width and height, and confirmed the changes. Now you know how to quickly update the resolution of any comp in After Effects while keeping full control over how your project looks.